These civilizations out in space are absolutely fed up with that. And let me be clear about this. This is a warning and it is a threat.
So, supposedly, Michael Herrera, the people that he was stopped by, which is a CIA of some kind or three-letter agency, paramilitary, which is supposedly higher secrecy than the Navy SEALs, and that's why they're not as much talked about. But apparently, they have no regard for service members of the military, and the egos have inflated to the size of a planet. These people need to be removed or retrained or something. They need to respect their country and their service members, people who serve the public. These people think they are on these black missions, part of the deep state Pentagon forces, and they're killing so many people they lose touch with any shred of humanity. But today, guys, we're going to be looking into Stephen Greer's claims, and he claims some pretty wild shit. We know he's gotten so much credibility in the last few weeks because of Jake Barber and his team speaking of him and saying they know him and have spoken to him much in the past and have had experiences with the Greer man. So we're going to be taking a look at all that in every angle. So make sure you subscribe, notifications on to not miss any update and any angle, because we're going to be the fastest growing channel in 2025. We're doing daily uploads. Like, comment, and share. This helps the absolute most. So without further ado, get your snacks, get your popcorn, and get ready for a good video. Make sure you stay till the end because the best parts are there as always.
Because we want to get the word out about these breaking developments as they evolve over this year in 2025. Everyone I'm speaking to in the U.S. government have indicated this is going to be the year of disclosure of all this coming out. It's going to start slowly and then pick up speed. There's just been the smallest tickling of that right now with some whistleblowers coming forward. There are a lot more in the wings. And then there are a number of activities that are to be determined depending on what the incoming Congress and administration will do. I've been told by many of these special forces guys who've been in these bases that there's a number of them still in captivity, which they euphemistically call, I like the wordage they use, this to sort of whitewash what's going on, refugees. Well, they're not refugees. They've been captured and they're prisoners of these aggressive military and corporate programs. So those need to be liberated. And we're working on that through a group of special forces guys.
So supposedly Stephen Greer be fighting the good fight, guys, for transparency, for accountability, for rights of conscious people, and no disregard, as some people previously mentioned, right? So if you find Stephen Greer credible in any capacity, you've got to listen to what he says, right? And yeah, he has a new podcast out and he regularly uploads. So make sure you check that out, because we're going to be covering stuff that happens over there as well. And it's all really interesting stuff. Or just subscribe here and we will be talking about it anyway. So you know what?
These civilizations out in space are absolutely fed up with that. And let me be clear about this. This is a warning and it is a threat. If we stay on that path much longer, the dangers to peaceful civilizations out in space and other transdimensional space-based civilizations is that it is untenable. So we're at a crisis and we have to fix it. And the way we're going to fix it is to stand down completely those aggressive weapon systems. Now, one of the executive orders that I have recommended to the incoming president and the Congress is a immediate cessation of the use of those systems that target, bring down these craft through a forced effort as opposed to peaceful contact. So we need to take that sword and all those tools they have, but turn it into this plowshare of open, peaceful contact without the ulterior, selfish motive of let's steal and reverse engineer more of their tech. We've already done that. It's been done for 70, 80 years. We don't need to recreate that wheel. We need to disclose the technologies that already are existing, that are to be used peacefully, not the things that fly, but the energy generation. But we don't need to go from one legacy program to something that would be equally misguided and would be using technologies that are psi-related aggressively or in a way that is forced.
Okay, so this is very notable. They're trying to force these objects down, and Stephen Greer is losing his mind over this, rightfully so, right? Because it's basically a bring down against the free will, and it could be seen as a very hostile act. And a war could be declared. A war has been declared for less, right? And so you get these psionic assets that peacefully bring these things down through connecting to it with their abilities, and then bringing them down with their permission. And Tim Taylor has mentioned to Chris Bledsoe as they like you, so he can control when they show up, etc. And he said, why you know? So you gotta put all these things together, this context, and then you start going into the government can't control this if they can't get these humans that can do this, and they're temporary and it's expensive, and there's just so much more cheaper to bring these down with force, with the new age technology, lasers, EMP weaponry, black weaponry. It's all has to be considered.
I would call this podcast military and corporate psionic contact with NHI versus CE5 contact. What's the difference? What are the distinctions? Why are those distinctions important? And why we want to do CE5 contact and not a militaristic contact. We don't summon and call or boss the ETs around. It's a diplomatic invitation. So let's get our linguistics down here. If you summon someone, you're at Downton Abbey, being the Earl of whatever, summoning the butler to bring you tea, right? We're not summoning ETs that way. We don't call them and they come at our beck and call. That is undiplomatic, it's demeaning, it's disrespectful, and it's the opposite of what we're doing with CE5 contact. That is not the consciousness behind it. The consciousness behind it is an invitation to make contact for peaceful relationship building between species, humans and non-human intelligence. It is not acquisitive. It's not to shoot them out of the sky with an electromagnetic pulse weapon, grab their technology, capture the living beings and put them under bases, or kill them. That operation is 180 degrees diametrically opposite of what CE5 contact teams are doing.
So it seems like there could be a little bit of a conflict forming between Greer and Jack Barber. He clearly says that there's a major difference between CE5, which is an invitation with respect, loving energy, etc., this manifestation, group manifestation method, versus psionic agents being able to, whether taking drugs or just having that part of their brain on lock where they can do this. I don't know, it's really interesting though. Different methods and this conflict arising between the methods, right? It's all getting down to some technicals, so it's really interesting.